So kind of related to this, I think there's even an even bigger issue that I'm kind of struggling with, which is so you talk about guilt, anger, fear, um, some of those bigger negative emotions. So I think one of the things that I'm struggling with is the idea that these are negative, they're bad, they have to be questioned, and that they don't have any usefulness.
Yeah,
And, well, if they're not useful, then why do we have those emotions?
yeah. That's a great
And
question.
so
Yeah.
I think subconsciously, I think I'm struggling with this idea of, well, I don't want to explain away all of my negative feelings.
Yeah.
And so
No, I
I'm
like that
interested
point.
in hearing your thoughts, Todd.
It's so good. Yeah. So they're not bad. They do have a purpose. It's like, have you ever heard of those people that were born without pain receptors somehow? Like they don't live more than about 10 years at the most because they tend to put their hands on burning stoves and they just don't feel pain. They can bleed to death. Anything can happen, and they don't get any feedback on what not to do in life, and so they're just, you know, free fall into disaster in a way. So I think emotions, they they give us information, very important information. It's telling us that we're moving in a direction that has broken with our integrity somehow. Like when we're talking with these kind of uh, guilt or anger or sadness or fear, there's something, it's a flow of life. We've broken that flow somehow. And if it's on the mental side, then questioning the thought can start to restore that flow again. But I need to know when the flow is broken. It's like the alarm clock idea. The emotion is the alarm clock that wakes me up to say, where is the break? Let's go check it out and see if we can restore order again. Because life is not just uh, it's not just always positive. It's not just always flowing. It's not always connected and great and everything's just wonderful. If that was the case, we wouldn't need these emotions. But life constantly changes minute to minute. And so having the emotions give us the feedback, it's very empowering actually. If we didn't have that, we would just be, yeah, sailing into disaster probably. So I think it's not that they're bad, it's just that they are, we can get stuck in them too. And that's not it. So great. I noticed some fear. Hey, what's going on? Oh, I'm afraid of this. And then I can look at that and see if that's really the whole story or if I need to be so worried about it. So it's like I can touch on the emotion and then use it and then find new direction as a result of it. It's a positive thing, actually. That's the way I tend to think of emotion. In fact, I became less scared of emotions the more I started doing the work. And ironically, some emotions were so suppressed in me that doing the work actually freed me to be more emotional in a way, more passionate or more like actually angry sometimes when I'm really angry instead of trying to pretend that I'm not angry when I am. So all of this for me has been the result of looking at emotions, getting clear about them, and working through them. It's not that they're bad, but that they need to be freed and allowed to be expressed. I'm way better expressing my emotions now than I ever was, but I'm also not stuck on them. That's the fear. It's like if I let emotion come up, then I'm going to be, it's going to just, I'm going to be stuck there. But what happens is I let it up and it has a life of its own, and then I see beyond it, and there's freedom on the other side of it. So I think of emotions nowadays as a doorway to something more, like it's a portal to a whole new way of viewing things. And when things get bad, so to speak, that's often the gateway to a whole new way of looking at things. Even without the work of Byron Katie, that's what we all do. When things get stressful, we tend to question everything. That's what that's what happens. You're like, I don't know, is that what I should be doing? Is this what I should be doing? Like we start questioning. And I think that's the natural result of this feedback mechanism that we have built into us in the form of emotion.
Thank you, Todd. That's really helpful. And I think it's something that I've been struggling with for a while, and I probably will continue to. But the things that you're saying really it makes sense to me. It rings true. So, so
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome.